Hey everybody, before we get to Sunday Sofa Time, I just wanted to give you a quick note that yesterday I had a couple hours free and I felt really motivated and kind of depressed because Marcus left on a cruise without me. And so I created some new merchandise. I created a Teespring store. So check that out in the links below. There's still some problems with it. Some of the t-shirts look like they're only available for 3 days and some of them are already ended. I don't understand why. I tried to delete it. It doesn't go away. I'm still working on it. But if you are interested in getting some sort of exclusive, very unofficial travel guides merchandise with some fun logos and fun sayings and things like that, then check out the link in the description below. And please let me know if you have any problems so I can get it all worked out. And now, back to your regularly scheduled Sunday Sofa Time. Princes and sheiks and Kardashians have stayed here. Welcome back, travel fans. I'm Morgan from the Very Unofficial Travel Guides, and today on Sunday Sofa Time, we're going to talk about something we haven't talked about in a while here, pooping. Is anybody still here now? Did anybody watch past that introduction? If you are, then welcome. I'm glad you're here. I think maybe you understand me and my dilemmas in life and in my travels. All right, just so you know, I'm not like giving details about having a bowel movement here. I just want to tell you about, an interesting pooping story I have, and it happened to me in Dubai. And actually, I have shared information about this on my Patreon page with some footage. That sounds stupid. Not footage of me pooping, but footage of me directly after this all happened while I was still in this ridiculously expensive suite at the top of the Atlantis resort. Anyways, let's start from the very beginning. Marcus and I took a 5-day or a 5-night trip to the Atlantis resort on the Palm in Dubai. Dubai is, of course, an exotic location over in the Middle East. There's been a lot of development there over the past 15 years. An entire city or entire cities have been built with skyscrapers and theme parks and water parks. And, of course, one of the most famous landmark destinations there is the Atlantis Resort on the Palm. This huge array of man-made islands out in the sea there. And I was just so fascinated by that, or we were so fascinated by that, and we wanted to go someplace that we knew it was going to be warm and sunny, and so we picked that. And we actually had a really, really great time there. And one of the cool things that happened to us while we were there is, as usual, whenever I'm traveling someplace, I reach out to their public relations department in advance and let them know that I have this YouTube channel called The Very Unofficial Travel Guides, and it's been seen by over 8 million people. And if there's anything they'd like to work on together, that they should get in touch, and we can make it happen. And a lot of times I get responses, and a lot of times I don't get any responses. Hashtag Royal Caribbean. And so I was lucky enough to be contacted by the public relations department, or by the, I don't know, the social media department from the Atlantis Resort, and they said they wanted to work with me to do some suite tours. So if you haven't seen the videos, I'll link them in the description bar below, as we always do here on YouTube. And I got to tour the underwater suite, which was really amazing. Just go watch the video, you'll see what I mean. And then, what the 2 videos are on my channel now is the underwater suite and then this huge penthouse suite up at the top of the hotel. And this place was amazing. And interestingly enough though, that room I thought was a little bit more impressive and definitely more expensive, but the underwater suite video has more views. Anyways, it was Marcus and I and this woman from public relations, and she took us up to the suite that has its own private elevator to get up there. And as soon as we opened the door, I was like, I cannot believe this place is real. It's a real hotel room that people reserve and stay in for their vacations. And it's who, I think I said that in the video itself, who expects this level of luxury as, a hotel room? I'm happy with just 2 beds and a bathroom with a door that closes, and then, I'm cool. And who needs, all these these different, bedrooms and gold plated shower heads and shower knobs and things like that, and a separate kitchen for the private chef and things like that. It was so amazing. I've never been in any hotel. I don't think I've ever been anywhere in any house or hotel room or anything like that that was that amazingly luxurious. I felt uncomfortable there just because I was like, I can't, this, like, princes and sheiks and Kardashians have stayed here. And so it was weird. That morning, it was just sort of a busy day. That morning I played tennis with somebody that I met there, which was, sort of a dream come true for me to play tennis in Dubai. Long story. Anyways, so that was cool. And then Marcus and I just had a really quick break in between to get lunch before we had to meet this woman to go up and tour the suite. So we had just like shoveled down lunch and we went up and started to tour the suite. And Marcus and the woman from public relations, they were just sort of hanging out in the background, like in one of the living rooms, as I was walking around and filming the suite. And, if you go watch the video, you'll see it was gigantic. It had like a gigantic living room, gigantic dining room, like 2 kitchens, and then I think it was 3 bedrooms, all with their own luxurious bathrooms and private balconies and things like that. So it's not like they were like following me around the whole time. They were in one totally different area than I was. And so we're up there, we're talking, I'm filming a little bit, and then we're talking, and we're filming a little bit, and I realize, this is getting kind of the embarrassing part. I realize, oh my gosh, I kind of really have to poop. And at that moment, I was thinking, I'll be able to hold it until we're done. And then I just realized, okay, it's taking a long time for me to film all this stuff, and I still have to do a lot of things where I'm talking to the camera, and I'm starting to get really uncomfortable. And I thought, it was probably because of, all this fantastic food we were eating there. We had like this dining package where we could go to the buffets all the time. So it was kind of like being on a cruise. And we weren't being stingy with the amount of food we were eating. And after playing tennis that morning, I don't know, it just sort of sped up my digestive system. And then all of a sudden, after, eating lunch, my system was just like, all right, time to move everything once. I don't know. This is so weird to talk about. I hope that you guys don't think this is gross or weird. And if you do, I bet you haven't watched this far. Anyways, so it gets to the point where I'm like, all right, I need to take care of this. And there's no way I can go back, into the living room and tell Marcus and this PR woman, listen, you guys just stay here. I'm going to run down to our room really quick because I, forgot a lens or something like that. I just thought that would be so weird. It would be so uncomfortable, especially for Marcus, because, both of these people are just sitting there basically waiting for me to finish doing what I'm doing. Marcus so he can go on enjoying the vacation, and this woman so she can go on enjoying or go on doing whatever else that she really has to do for her job, and not just sit there and wait for me to film. And so I decide, all right, well, I'll just use one of the bathrooms here. And I tried to find the one then that was far enough away from where Marcus and she was, just because I thought, tonight, some, millionaire is going to check in here and somebody's going to already have used one of the toilets. You know what I mean? It just felt so wrong. It felt so sneaky. I don't know how else to describe it. It just felt, I was like, I really shouldn't be doing this. And you guys, I don't know if you can imagine how luxurious this place was, and it just felt so weird that Marcus and this press woman were sitting in the other room, being really quiet, and here I am using the toilet, and nobody's going to know about it before whatever rich socialite checks in here tonight. So I did what I had to do, and then, of course, I had to flush the toilet. I couldn't just leave it there. And so it was already at that moment where I was like, all right, well, they're going to know about it now. And so there was no way to avoid it. I did what I had to do. I flushed the toilet. I made sure to like fold the end of the toilet paper again to make it look like, like it was before I used it. And, I washed my hands and I used a towel to wipe all the drops away, the water drops in the sink and everything. And I sort of tried to leave it exactly like it was before I left, but it just felt like I was like, oopsie doodles, shouldn't have done that. Yeah, and then I went on filming, and eventually at the end I decided to tell the woman, I was like, listen, I know this is kind of embarrassing, but before, there's some kind of problem, I just wanted you to know that while I was filming, I really had to use the toilet. So the second toilet back in the master suite, I used that. So I just wanted you to know that in case, housekeeping wanted to come and just sort of tidy everything up because I washed my hands and I used a towel and sorry, but I just, it couldn't wait. And she's like, oh, it's no problem. I'll send housekeeping up. It'll be fine. But it just was so uncomfortable. I just felt so... I mean, can you guys tell me, what would you have done? Would you have first asked permission? Or would you have just held it at no matter what cost of uncomfortability? Or would you have done like what I was thinking about, like saying, oh, I forgot something down in our room, I'm gonna have to go down and get it? I mean, that was the first option that sounded the most reasonable to me, but like I said, I would have had to take the private elevator down to the normal part of the hotel and then go over and then take another elevator down to our room and then go to the bathroom, and Marcus would have been sitting with this woman up there for like probably 20 minutes, just waiting for me to come back. And I was like, no, I can't do it that way. What would you guys have done? It just felt, I was like, I can't hold it. I have to go. And there's no other way to do it. And these people are going to know about it. And of course, now I'm telling all you about it, and now thousands of other people are going to know about it as well. But it just was like a weird, uncomfortable, sort of surreal experience to have to use the bathroom in this like suite that I think cost $20,000 a night. I'm sure I will never poop on a more expensive toilet than that one there. And there you go. And now comes the time on Sunday Sofa Time where I talk about your comments live here on air. In last week's Sunday Sofa Time, I talked about 3 stories that were in the media that I thought would be interesting, or that I thought were interesting, and I thought would be interesting to talk about with you guys. The fact that Viking Cruise Lines has now banned all children on all of their cruises, the fact that the Carnival Horizon crashed in New York, and that they're changing the end of Space Mountain in Florida, which is something that sort of is, near and dear to me. So these comments are in relation to that video. And I want to start with Melinda Swisegood, Melinda's Vacations. Melinda writes, oh man, I am the reason people want kid-free anything. I totally get it. It is my fault, and I try so hard to have well-mannered children. I'm hoping if I stick with manners, they will get it with age. Fingers crossed. I apologize. I apologize now. So obviously Melinda has some sort of rascally kids that she that kind of get out of control, and like she's saying, her kids are the reason that people wish there were no kids wherever they are. So Melinda, thank you for being honest. Stay with it, and hopefully your kids will get it eventually. Shane N. writes, I would pay more for kid-free anything. I'm all for having adults-only vacations without little bratty kids running around while parents stand around like everything is fine and their children don't need parenting because, hey, they're on vacation. And I think the more that we talk about this issue, I think that is the greater issue. It's not the kids, it's actually the parents. Because first of all, if the kids don't know how to act, that was the parents' responsibility to teach them how to act. And if the kids are acting out of line, it is definitely the parents' responsibility to keep them in line while they're on vacation. And like Shane was saying here, just because you're on vacation, it doesn't mean you're on a vacation from parenting, right? Keep your kids in line. Shane also writes here, I think if they find out that she jumped on purpose, then she needs to pay a fine. This is in regards to, we were talking in a previous video about this woman who recently jumped off a cruise ship, and survived and they found her 10 hours later, if she should have to pay for the rescue efforts. Shane continues to write, not sure if there's a cruise ship that missed their port as they helped search for her, but if there were, then people have missed part of their vacation. Cruise lines would have lost money as well, not to mention other resources that help search for her. Maybe not pay for the whole search, but definitely a hefty fine. You know, I guess I agree. And the final comment here from Brian Dill about the end of Space Mountain. Brian writes, sound like Disney is cost-cutting to dismantle the moving sidewalk at Space Mountain. As others have pointed out, many airports use moving sidewalks. Disney can't buy a new moving sidewalk to replace the old one, especially with the constant admission rate increases at Disney parks. Evidently, management at Disney World wants a bigger bonus check at the end of 2018. And you know what? Who doesn't want a bigger bonus check? I can understand that part of it, and it has not been confirmed that they are changing this. Those are just rumors that I read, that the cost of replacement parts for this old school moving walkway was just too expensive, that they're just going to take it out and put something else there. Hasn't been confirmed. We need to wait and see, but if they do change it, then I guess I kind of agree with Brian. All right, everybody, thanks again for spending your Sunday afternoon with me here in front of the red sofa, and I'll be here in front of the red sofa again next weekend for another fun storytime video for you. Have a great weekend.